you want to, baby. I don't mind hating me. Hate all you can. Let me go the other way. Hate all you can. Hate everything. But I'm gonna still make you look good. Black men winning. Okay? Come on, somebody type that in the chat room. Black men winning. Okay? Because that's just what's happening. We are winning.
We winning. We winning. We winning. We winning. We winning. We winning. We winning. Yeah. We winning. I know they hating out here. Yeah. I know they mad. They all in their feelings. But baby, I don't care. She calling the police on me and everything. Yeah. Somebody need to get on the phone, call my attorney. Dealing with these hard-headed hoes who ain't learning. Acting all ignorant like a motherfucking menace. She better bundle up, cause bitches about to be winner. Niggas acting timid, why you think she treat a nigga so bad? Turn her only fucking son into a killer. Can't even distinguish who the women, who the bitches. She broke my nigga, even Jesus can't fix it. Navajo nigga, got a man up in prison. But quick to tell you, get your bag up, bitch, quit it. Ever heard of Dennis? Yes, sir. Get your spurting, we in court early. Don't be acting all girly. Keep that same energy. Don't need any men. You the man, you the father, you the face of many men. Yep, many Rippleton, taking L's your whole life. While the passport bros taking off the next flight. Some thick, some feminine. Rubbing on my shoulders, be a cold day in hell. Blizzard King try to tell you, a new world is coming, bitch. You better stop sinning. See, God took Kevin, left your sorry ass with Dennis.
Somebody type of old broad in the chat room. Talking about men, you can't find them. That just means you had your chance, boo. You had your chance, and your chance has passed you by. Husband done went on to the great beyond. He's not there looking for you no more. You done hit one wall. Somebody type one wall in the chat room. You done hit two walls. Somebody say 3 walls. Yeah.
That will never get old.
Now, folks, we have an old saying in Tallahassee, Florida, where there's smoke.
That will never, ever get old. That'll never get old.
You understand what I'm saying?
That'll never get old. Shout out to Uncle D. Let's see. Sorry. Hold on, guys. I'm just getting myself situated here. Do me a favor. Please hit that like button on your way in. Okay. So, what do we got going on? Let me get Broken Blade in here. Shout out to Broken Blade. What's up, bro? How are you doing, sir?
I'm good.
Good. Man. Okay, I think I got this organized so that I don't crash out all at once. I think I've figured out how to. I've organized this in my brain so that we can get through the story, and then I can crash out. That way, I don't completely destroy the stream. Have you gotten a chance to? I found out a few new things. Right? Because, are you okay? So, I started asking logical questions, right? Yeah. So, guy gets in an accident, but his car wasn't damaged because he drove away. I don't know if you picked up on that part. And since he drove away, the narrative had been that his reckless driving, like he basically like ran people off the road. That was what the whole issue was. Okay. And we heard about the person that got whose life ended, right? But what we didn't really hear about was who actually was the other side of the accident. See, don't you think it's interesting that we find out who died and we find out who was allegedly responsible for doing it.
I framed.
But we don't know who the other person was in the accident. Like who actually made the contact with his car, right? Like why is it that I don't know who actually hit the car? Like what other car, who was driving the other car? Or who was driving the car that was in contact with the, what'd you call it? I mean, that to me is a logical question.
Yeah.
But it seemed as though no one was asking that question. I thought that was weird. What's up, Mr. 43TX? What's up, Dre? How are you doing? What's up, guys? So I'm going through this, right? And we've heard this story before, you know, this is the missing information and the narrative. And I'm thinking to myself, let me just go back and try to figure out like what was the news saying at the time, right? Like what was the news saying at the time of the accident, right? Let me go refresh my memory, because now, you know, hindsight's 2020, but you know, maybe there's something, you know, maybe I missed something. Maybe it wasn't as ugly as it seems, right? Maybe you know, the news just played it how they normally do, and I mean, like they tried to play it as though you know, maybe we got it wrong. Maybe we jumped the gun. Maybe, you know. So I just wanted to go back a little bit, and I just wanted to see what this, you know, what the headlines were saying at the time, right? So, top NFL draft prospect Kyren Lacy arrested on negligent after deadly crash. Additional negligent homicide, he faces felony hit and run and reckless operation of a vehicle charges. Police said. Okay, police said.
Yeah.
NFL hopeful Kyren Lacy, one of the top receiver prospects in this year's draft, has been arrested for negligent homicide in connection with a deadly crash in Louisiana last month. Lacy was booked into a LaForest Parish Correctional Complex on Sunday evening, arrested, asshole. Let's see. Authorities said 2 days after Louisiana State Police announced they had issued an arrest warrant for the athlete for allegedly leaving the scene of a fatal crash on December 17th. And we got our mugshot. Right? We got our mugshot.
Obligatory.
In addition to the negligent homicide, he faced a felony hit and run and reckless operation of vehicle charges, police say. Lacy's posted $151,000 bond and was released from jail later Saturday evening, a LaForest Parish office spokesperson confirmed. Lacy, who played for the Louisiana State University in the fall before the declaring for the draft, is alleged to have been behind the wheel of a 2023 Dodge Charger when he recklessly passed multiple vehicles at a high rate of speed by crossing the center line and entering the northbound lane while in a designated no passing zone on Louisiana Highway 20. State police said in a press release, and we're going to get to that press release in just a second. Now, that's a pretty that sounds crazy, right?
Yeah.
You would think that if they said that he was because they put allegedly in there, but think about this for a second. Okay, Lacy played on the is alleged to have been behind the wheel of a 2003 Dodge Charger when he so he was alleged to be behind the wheel, but they describe what he did. You got me?
Yeah.
So I didn't even put allegedly in the correct place, but whatever. Recklessly passed multiple vehicles at a high rate of speed by crossing the center line and entering in the northbound lane while in a designated no passing zone on Louisiana. See, that's very specific. That's very specific, but he allegedly did it, right? But he allegedly had been behind the wheel. So the question wasn't what they alleges whether or not he was behind the wheel, but they're saying that the car did what it did by automatically making him guilty. Listen. The driver of the 2017 Kia Cadenza traveling north swerved to avoid hitting the Dodge, only to cross the center line and collide head on with the 2017 Kia Sorento. A passenger in the Kia Sorento, identified by police as 78-year-old Herman Hall of Thibodeau, died from his injuries and is being transported to the hospital, authorities said. Lacy allegedly drove around the crash scene and fled south without stopping to render aid, call emergency services, or report his involvement in the crash, state police said. Louisiana State Police and said Friday that troopers were in communication with Lacy and his legal representation for the athlete to turn himself in. Lacy's agent said that the athlete was fully cooperating with authorities, which is all true. We strongly believe that the facts will ultimately demonstrate the truth. We respect the need for a full and thorough investigation, the agent Rocky Arsenault and Alliance Sports said in a statement. Arsenault added that the case is being taken very seriously and we are committed to resolving it responsibly. Lacy, 24, of Thibodeau, was a wide receiver from the LSU Tigers. 2 days after the crash, December 19th, he announced that he will be declaring for the 2025 NFL Draft. The star prospect had 58 catches for 866 yards and 9 touchdowns this season. Lacy had 26 touchdown catches in 5 seasons at LSU. He opted out of the Texas Bowl against Baylor to focus on preparation for the draft. Now, Broken Blade, if you were to have read that, would you kind of assume that maybe he was probably already guilty? Or I don't know, what do you, just hearing that, like, I know it's hard to try to cut all the other information that you have out of your brain, but I'm just trying to take myself back to when this happened.
Felt strange, like, okay, he fled the scene. Well, I tried to render aid, but once they got him, he's fully cooperative. Like, there was no struggle. Like, there seems to be a conflict there. Like, this doesn't seem to be a consistency in the character they're portraying.
I mean, it's like because they've got him, he's an all-star football player. Interesting. Now, this is on ESPN. Now, ESPN, you would think, would be a little bit better or more sensitive to, the plight of a NFL athlete or a potential NFL athlete, a college athlete, a kid, a young man. We've read all this
like maybe 20 years ago. Nowadays, not so much. I never really watched ESPN that much, but one of the last times, like one of the jobs I was at, was like in the break room, and it was just like a freaking gossip. Just like one chick, 2 guys, like talking about just gossip about athletes.
Yeah.
Like, when did this shit become the View?
Yes. That's why the ratings are trash now. That's why the ratings are trash. It's like, bro, when I started seeing them allowing ladies to try to check and correct Hall of Fame football players when they're trying to educate Hall of Fame 20-year career football players. I was like, oh, shit's over.
Yeah.
That shit's over with. Like, I don't even, it's just, it's pointless at this point. Like, yeah, it's only a matter of time. But here's what I wanted to get to, because this is another article. A warrant had been issued for Lacy's arrest. Police say on Friday he had been in contact. Alleged. Okay, and here's what I, again, guilt before, because I'm like, okay, why did the news feel so comfortable saying what they said, and then once they say that and they live and these news channels leave a little bit of ambiguity, it leaves room for people to kind of run with the narrative, right? So a lot of times it's not what you say, but what you don't say.
Yes.
You know? And here's the kind of one of the more interesting parts that I'm because it's like reading between the lines and picking apart the loopholes where the newspaper or whatever is covering themselves, but they're clearly pushing a narrative, right? And it's like either semantics or taking the allegedly, and instead of putting the allegedly at this part of the sentence, I'm gonna put it at this part of the sentence. So legally, by what it said, I abided by the law. I wasn't slandering or whatever, or it wasn't libel, or I'm not legally liable for what comes after this because I didn't tell. I was, So
his ontological super predator, allegedly.
Allegedly. Yeah. Allegedly. So this is part of what I wanted to get at. So they're basically telling a story. As Lacy was illegally passing other vehicles, the driver of the northbound pickup truck abruptly braked and swerved to the right to avoid a head-on collision with the approaching Dodge. A Louisiana State Police news release said. So they're just reporting what the Louisiana State Police said. So the question becomes, is it the media's fault for not doing their due diligence and actually figuring out what really happened and getting multiple opinions or stories? Or is the burden of proof on the police department? So if they shouldn't be saying anything.
See, all of the above.
Because if their press release comes out and he says,
come down to one word, accountability.
Accountability. You know what, Broken Blade? I'm glad you said that. Sometimes I think you're just in my head. I swear to God. Sometimes I'm like this. I love the way this man thinks, because we are always on the same page. We're going to come back to that accountability, because this is their statement. And this statement is in quotes and does not have any allegedly in it or anything. So if this is the message, or if this is the what is being said by the police department, you would like to think, you'd like to think that you're like, I can bank on that information. That information should be accurate. As Lacy was illegally passing the other vehicles, the driver, so it says, traveling behind the pickup was a 2017 Kia Cadenza whose driver swerved to avoid the oncoming Charger, and the Kia Cadenza took evasive action to avoid the impact of the Dodge. It crossed the center line and collided head-on with the southbound 2017 Kia Sorento. Now that is very specific.
Yeah.
I have a hard time, if this is the way you describe the accident and then video comes out that doesn't show the accident looking like this, what are you going to do?
Call bullshit.
I mean, as the cops.
As the cops,
I mean, at what point? I mean, if this is your official
investigate,
bro, you're making an official statement, and this is how you're describing it. Do you just not expect for the truth to really come out? Do you expect to be able to like railroad this kid and the real thing never come out? I mean, they must have thought that they could get away with it. I mean, this is kind of my point, and this is why I'm in the process of crashing out, because
it might have been the move, like what's the Brave Cave?
Elaborate.
I think that's in Louisiana. It's Brave is like an acronym for one of the police units. They got in trouble a couple years ago for like this, basically like this empty building that they referred to as a Brave Cave.
Yeah.
Their own mini black site.
Yeah. Where they can tune somebody up and not get in trouble. No one's gonna hear the screams and no one's gonna come and look in and they got absolutely no. Well, that kind of behavior. I'm glad you said that. That kind of behavior is not new to the police departments, and we try to pretend like that stuff's not really happening, and like. And then we get results of those kinds of things happening all the time. If this dude wasn't famous, he would have gotten railroaded, no problem. He got railroaded, no problem. So I'm looking at how police allege that Lacy, 24, drove around the crash, fled without stopping to render aid, call emergency services, or report his involvement in the crash. So even though they didn't go full blown, he did it, they kind of said he did it.
Yeah.
You know what? I wanted to go to what the actual Louisiana State Police said. And I'm going to go to their statement. Go to their statement. And this is what it says. Update. Investigation leads to negligent homicide arrest. Warrant for the driver in fatal Forest Parish crash. See, they're investigating. Now this is interesting. The investigation revealed that the crash occurred as a 2023 Dodge Charger was traveling south on Louisiana Highway 20. The driver of the Dodge, later identified as 24-year-old Kyren Lacy of Thibodaux, recklessly passed multiple vehicles at a high rate of speed by crossing the center line and entering the northbound lane with the designated no passing zone. As Lacy was illegally passing the other vehicles, the driver of the northbound pickup abruptly braked and swerved to the right to avoid a head-on collision with the approaching Dodge. Traveling behind the pickup was a 2017 Kia Cadenza, whose driver swerved left to avoid the oncoming Dodge Charger. Think about what they said he did. They said that he swerved into the other lane into oncoming traffic.
It doesn't make no damn sense.
As the Kia Cadenza took evasive action to avoid impact of the Dodge, it crossed the center line and collided head-on with the southbound 2017 Kia Sorento. Following the crash, Lacy drove around the crash scene and fled without stopping to render aid, call emergency services, or report his involvement in the crash. Troop C was later notified that Hall, who was a passenger of the passenger of the Kia Sorento, succumbed to his injuries of the crash after being transported to the hospital for treatment. Troopers and LSP detectives continued the investigation of the crash, and through investigative means were able to identify the Charger and determine that Lacy was driving at the time of the crash.
Define investigative means.
As a result of the investigation, troopers obtained an arrest warrant for Lacy through the the LaForge Parish 17th Judicial Court for Louisiana RS 1432 negligent homicide, 14100 felony hit and run, 1499 reckless operation of a vehicle. Troopers are in communication with the Lacy. And okay, so all of that, Broken Blade, all of that, you would think that this guy, they would have him dead to rights.
Yeah.
You would think that they had him dead to rights, meaning like I've got on video, if you were to just read this, you would think that it's too detailed to be trying to lie about, right? Like clear, I mean, yeah, this car avoided that car, this car, we were looking for that car.
Yeah.
You would think. Well, Broken Blade, the guy's attorney comes out and has a 45-minute video, and he talks about all of the evidence that was uncovered. And I'm going to put that link here in the chat so you guys can see it on your own if you like. Let's see. Let's switch this up real quick. Okay, sorry. All right, here we go. All right, so this is his attorney, not him. Let's go.
The life of a very popular man, Mr. Hall, and it was well documented. It went national. It was talked about. It was written about. It was blogged about. It was all over the nation. So I did tell Mr. Ori back then, and I'll
That's his attorney.
also tell everyone involved in this, whether you're an attorney or whether you're part of the investigation, you're always welcome to tell your story on HTV. So I told Mr. Ori, if you have anything to add to the story at any point, please give me a holler and we'll get you on. So joining me now is Matt Ori, attorney, and good to see you, Matt. Thank you for coming.
Good to see you, Martin. Thank you for having me.
Did you compile anything new?
I've got everything. I've got every piece of evidence I have viewed. I've examined every piece of evidence, which includes all surveillance, all body cam footage, and most importantly, the investigative report that was generated and manufactured by the LaForge Parish District Attorney's Office.
Generated and manufactured.
According to the data that they obtained.
In that report, which is independent of you, when I was going through it and looking at some of these things in it, I think you'll probably go over where they were, because I see you brought a board where you're going to depict where all of them were during the incident, and you have all that information to sort of explain where everyone was at, how fast they were going, what they were doing, all of that.
I do. I've got it all here.
Okay. So
Remember, Broken Blade, we still haven't heard the name of the person that actually hit the man.
Right.
We've heard them refer to the vehicle, but we still haven't heard a name or its gender, sex, anything of the person that actually that actually came in contact, that was actually in the accident, that actually ran into somebody. We don't know who that is yet. That hasn't come up yet.
Investigative means to find that out.
Let's continue, because we're not going to watch all of this, but there's a couple of different parts. I wanted him to just kind of talk about this one part and then a couple of others.
So this reports, or do you have actual video?
At the entirety of the district attorney's findings, their findings after their own investigation. That's what we're here today to present. We're going to compare and contrast those findings with the findings of state police. Because
so there's a state police investigation and there's the district attorney's investigation. Those are different.
there's a ton of confusion. People seem to believe that somehow he hit someone in this accident or possibly even shot through two cars and there was this explosion behind him. I've heard every version possible, but we can show you the version right now.
Okay. Sort of describe the video for our audience, what you've seen in the video.
Yeah. So what you'll see is in the top left of the screen, you're going to see multiple cars just making their way south to Thibodeau coming from Battery.
I'm going to slow this down now. Sorry, I normally have it up fast. We're going to slow down.
At some point in time, you're going to see the collision.
Let's go back again.
Multiple cars just making their way south to Thibodeau coming from Battery. At some point in time, you're going to see the collision, which we're going to know is vehicle number 2 from oncoming traffic colliding with the vehicle of Mr. Hall.
Boom. Okay. Right.
You will see another vehicle come to a stop, and then you'll see Kyren Lacy come to a stop.
So as we've seen the video, it looks like the impact happens and then Kyren Lacy is behind him. How far away was he from there?
Well, yeah, that's the beauty of the investigative report that I now have my hands on. We know from data that Kyren Lacy did in fact pass 4 cars. There's no disputing that. Further north, Kyren Lacy passed 4 cars. However, he was back in his lane of travel, 92.3 yards. Back in his lane, behind Mr. Hall. At the time of impact, he's 72.6 yards behind the vehicles at the time of impact. Keyword, behind the vehicles. That is not how the story was ever painted. Never.
Any part of the district attorney's investigation that talked about Mr. Lacy getting back, I guess we call it, what do you call it, correcting or getting in your proper lane?
Sure, he was back in his proper lane according to their data. This isn't my expert. This is the investigation of the Lafourche Parish District Attorney's Office. So I'm here simply comparing and contrasting the District Attorney's Office with state police in this matter. They're
Now, under normal circumstances, the police and the DAs are normally working hand in hand because the police somehow scrounged up enough of their bullshit to get a warrant, which is what they did. Now, what was happening is that they were getting ready to go in front of a grand jury, which all of this would have come out, which most likely would have cleared him, but he never made it to that.
investigations. And in that investigation, it shows that he was back in his correct lane of travel, 92.3 yards. Before this incident occurred, he was back in his lane.
What does the legal law state about where you should be behind or
28 miles an hour.
So I want to go get into this because it's this is some of the specifics. And again, it's the reason why I'm going through this is because I don't give a shit about what people say. I care about the actual data. People are going to lie, people are going to whatever, but like the actual data, if they've got information and data that can correspond and show correlating evidence, that's what I want to get to.
9 seconds. Prior to him pulling off the road, he was traveling 28 miles an hour. 28 miles an hour. Now, you're going to hear his statement in a little while, and it's going to all make sense. But let's be very clear right now for the intent and purposes of what we're doing. There are two vehicles that we're talking about right now that are traveling north. The second vehicle in oncoming traffic, which is vehicle 2, their data says she is tailgating. She is 0.5 seconds at 49.6 miles an hour. 1.5 seconds before the crash. And you saw her data, 50.3 to 49.6.
Yeah, so she stayed at 49.6 until 0.5 seconds. And then
there's a variation of less than a mile per hour.
Yeah.
It's 0.7, I believe.
Right. Did she give any police report or anything?
Oh, absolutely. So
let's talk about that a little
yeah,
bit.
we will.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
This particular individual, and for purposes of this report, I'd like you more, and this is page 9, if you can follow along to make sure I'm not misquoting a single thing.
All right.
All right. I'm looking at the investigative report of the district attorney's office. And then here you can see this is their investigator looking at vehicle 2 statements, and now he's analyzing. He says, upon reviewing the body cam video of the trooper from the scene, the following statement was made by, we'll call her vehicle 2, right? I just know the truck was stomping on brakes. The other was trying to pass the other car. I was trying to dodge by not hitting him, by coming around. When the trooper asked how fast she was going, she replied the speed limit. He next says, I reviewed the recorded interview and the written statement from vehicle 2 while she was in the hospital on January 3rd, 2025. Below is a synopsis of that interview. And the very first, it says, all I can see is that a car is coming this way and the car in front of me. Right before the crash. I'm looking at the pickup truck in front of me. That's all they see for the moment. I'm eating my Funyuns. I got in the middle of my lap and I'm driving.
Broken blade. She didn't say Cheetos. She did say Funyuns, but are we starting to put the picture together? Driving, got her Funyuns in her lap. Let's continue.
I'm listening to my music. All of a sudden, I see the car get in the other person's lane. The truck, in quote, steps on his brakes. First, so it slows down, but then he does it again, and this time it's really hard. That's when you can see on the other side, the car is trying to get back over. But before he can get over, the truck stops in the middle, like on the brakes, hard. There's another car that runs damn near into the pole. It's either I run into him or I try to get out the way, so I'm trying to get to the dollar store parking lot. Then the other car just comes and slams into me. The trooper asked vehicle 2, whenever you're looking forward, or the car's in front of you, they swerve off to the right before you make your left, or you're looking at a green Charger coming at you. Or, end of quotes. Vehicle 2 responded with, the green Charger came, and then the car behind me, behind them, the truck, the van, whatever. The trooper does not ask any further follow-up questions to get a better understanding of what she was saying for this answer. Now, remember, I'm reading what the investigator's saying. When vehicle 2 states the truck stops in the middle of the road like one of the brakes hard, the statement indicates that the gold truck stopped in the middle of the lane and not, in quotes, swerving off to the right. This would also show that vehicle 2 would have steered to the left to avoid contact with the gold truck and not Kyren Lacy. During this interview with the trooper, vehicle 2 made several statements that do not match the submitted report or written statement. Instead of questioning vehicle 2 for more details, the trooper attempted to recap what she was saying, which seems to contradict her statements. While doing this, the trooper is the first to talk about the gold truck swerving off to the right. Then when it came to obtaining the written statement, the trooper tells vehicle 2 what to document on the statement as she is writing.
I have two.
Then when it came to obtaining the written statement, the trooper tells vehicle 2 what to document on the statement as she is writing.
I have two questions.
When it came to obtaining the written statement, the trooper tells vehicle 2 what to document on the statement as she is writing.
Broken Blade. If I ask you what you had for breakfast this morning, but I tell you what to write down, but I don't know what you had for breakfast, is what I'm likely to tell you probably what you actually ate for breakfast?
I doubt it.
Do you think it's weird that the cop was trying to tell her what to write her as far as her statement? Think that's weird?
Absolutely.
You think that's normal practice? Like the cops telling people how and what to write for their, you think so? I kind of, you know what? I'm starting to think so too. Maybe that's common practice. Like that's a regular thing. All right. Check this out. Check this out. So that's already one. So that's the person that actually got in the accident. The person that was actually driving the car that made contact that actually ended the life of Mr. Hall. Let's move on to the next star witness. This is the gold truck that was allegedly being avoided here.
Alright, sir. So, look, don't worry about filling any of the stop information, like your name, address. Don't worry about any of that. Just right here, if you could, I'll just have you write exactly what you saw. Just make sure to include, where you were.
I don't even know what the name of that highway.
It's Highway 20. Highway 20.
You had to remind them the highway.
That you just.
All right, maybe my way going to that right.
Okay, just make sure you add in there that you had to slam on your brakes and the brakes, you had to slam on the brakes to avoid that charger and the brakes locked up to avoid that charger. That's.
Huh. Wait, what?
You had to slam on your brakes and the brakes, you had to slam on the brakes to avoid that charger and the brakes locked up to avoid that charger. That's.
I ain't scared off. That's what I would have been going for. The lady in the back of me, she didn't know what was happening. That's how she called that record. She was running in the back of me.
Oh, wait. What did he say?
But I would have been going for. The lady in the back of me.
That lady in the back of me.
She didn't know what was happening. That's how she called that record. She was running in the back of me. She pulled on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
She caused that wreck. It had nothing to do with the charger. He said it.
The lady in the back of me, she didn't know what was happening. That's how she called that record. She was running in the back of me. She pulled on the other side.
Mm-hmm. So, but the charger was coming right at you, correct? That's why you had to slam on your brake, head on with you. So yeah, just make sure you include that, and that's very important because we're trying to locate this charger right now. So just include that in the statement, and I'll read it over, and then I'll be out of here.
In that video, you can clearly hear the suggestive nature, indicating that I need you to say that you had to slam on your brakes and you had to avoid a charger.
Okay, just make sure you add in there that you had to slam on your brakes and the brakes, you had to slam on the brakes to avoid that charger and the brakes locked up to avoid that charger. That's.
But then you hear Gold Truck, the witness, who's the Gold Truck, what he says. And he says verbatim.
I ain't scared off. That's what I would have been going for. The lady in the back of me, she didn't know what was happening. That's how she called that record. She was running in the back of me. She pulled on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't skid marked or nothing because I wasn't even going that fast. That lady in the back of me, she didn't see what's happening. That's how she caused that wreck. She was going to run into the back of me and she pulled into the other side.
This was a statement from the very beginning.
Obviously, the keys were given. A welfare call was made.
So I don't know, Broken Blade, if you got a chance to figure out how this actually happened and how he ended up ending his own life. Now, we saw how the news approached it, right? We know how people can get. In fact, you know what? Where is, sorry, I got to find the clip. There is a clip of, damn it. There's a clip of, because other people ran with this narrative, right? And of course he was driving crazy and ended up killing somebody, you know? Of course he da. That's just what they do. Right? All the racists come out, can't wait to kick dirt on this dude's name. And in addition to kicking dirt on his name, kicking dirt on our name as Black people.
Yeah.
Right? The racists come out with the hoods on and everything, attacking this kid. Right? We already know where we're at with all this, right? This is in January. You know, 45 has been in office for a couple months now. We know what's going on and you know, people can't wait to talk smack about the Black guy. So that's where we are with that. Let's where'd I go? Oh, here it is.
Let me just say this. Kyren Lacy went to Houston that Friday with his mind mate. He was suffering. There was a point in time that night at his apartment, the apartment that he, his little brother, and his cousin were in. His mind was made. He wanted the keys to that vehicle to, I don't know how to say this, to.
His mind was made up. That he was gonna pull the plug. Because he was like, I'm getting railroaded. He's like, I wasn't even nowhere near. He was like, if these people are arresting me, if I got a grand jury in a couple of days, like all of this is crazy. Like the internet is turned on me. I've gotten kicked off of I've gotten uninvited from the NFL draft. I've gotten uninvited from all this other stuff. Like I'm losing contracts already. My value's already dropping. They're killing me in the media. I can't say anything. I'm on bail. Out on bail. I can't even move like I want to move. Right?
Take his life.
Go straight to that, though.
No, of course not. Of course not. But again, Broken Blade, we talked about it, right?
Yeah.
Like we've got a lot of young people that they don't understand. Like they're soft. They're sensitive. They're freaking soft as baby doo-doo. They get their feelings hurt and it's like the end of the world. Right? Man, somebody starts talking smack to me on Instagram, I'll just turn that bitch off and go play some basketball. You know what I'm saying? Go hit the weights, go on a run or something. I won't say that I've never been in a situation where someone or something on the internet got under my skin or like, you know, I've absolutely gotten into shit on the internet before, but not once did I ever think about punching my own ticket. That's crazy. So
internet nonsense.
But so listen how this went down.
So it's either you give me my keys and I do this on my own accord, or this is going to go down right here, right now. Obviously the keys were given. A welfare call was made. Keyword, welfare check, right? There was no crime. There's none of that, man. Mm-hmm. No drugs, none of that BS. Kid's mind was made. You know the rest of the story.
So he told whomever he was with that was the place and time. Wasn't there a shot fired or something?
That's how he got his keys. I think that's how you're showing him. And by the way, the shot was fired in the ground on purpose to let them know the seriousness of what was going on in his head.
So he wanted their attention.
He wanted his keys.
Yeah.
And they knew not to give him his keys. They knew what was going to happen. But what are you going to do? You going to watch it go down or are you going to give him his keys?
Right.
His mind was made. Social media killed him. Killed him. Mm-hmm. All those tough guys behind the computer,
yep.
Same ones who come after me when I do this interview, mm-hmm. Those guys.
A young man could not get used to.
They're kids, man.
Yeah.
The difference between you and I, Martin, and them, they don't know anything else other than those devices.
Right.
You especially. I'm a little bit younger, but even myself, that's a later deal. That's all they know. They can't get away from them. And they believe what these people say. They believe it. It doesn't matter what I showed you today. There are going to be people that are going to talk horribly about him, horribly about me. Life is such, but I have a job to do. No matter who is in the way of that. You have to do what you have to do. Whatever consequences come my way from this, so be it.
And I'm hearing you loud and clear. He, in his own mind, and I'm speculating, he was already prosecuted in his own mind.
That's correct. He was already prosecuted.
And we can only imagine wasn't the Vikings about to draft him?
I talked to the Saints. I had talked to the Vikings. Not that I'm his agent by any stretch, but there were teams reaching out to learn about this matter. That really liked him. But they obviously wanted to know what was going on. I did the best that I could to tell them and advise them the grand jury was set for this particular day. We didn't make it there, though. So Kyren Lacy is going to change the way things are done. He's going to
I wish this was true, but I don't think so.
make people think twice about what they say before they say it. Not everybody. Somebody. Maybe Kyren Lacy makes someone think twice before the next investigation to say, hold on, maybe we got to look at a few other things here, right? Maybe let's not jump to conclusions. Thoroughly review. Just maybe somebody else is saved from the same exact thing. Maybe thousands.
Broken Blade. Would you like to know whom actually hit this dude?
Yes.
And it'll make some sense here. It'll make some sense to you here. Shout out to Jada Black. I'm glad because he's one of the few people that are actually putting this monster on blast.
Great. I'm going to show you Brianna. She's on the right. That's her there. That's probably a veteran in a car accident that he didn't cause. It was actually caused by a female by the name of Brianna Imani Gray. Now I'm going to show you Brianna. She's on the right. That's her there. That's probably seemingly after the accident. Where she actually, and the officer there who is responsible for this miscommunication and horrible police work, his name is Tyler Warren, aka Officer Doofus. Now, Tyler Warner, aka Officer Doofus, he decided to listen to this heifer and allow her to lie to him.
These gloves can withstand 1,340-degree flames, broken glass, and razor-sharp blades because they're built from military-grade Kevlar. Nobody believed me at first, but now everybody
and basically say she didn't do it, but put everything on Kyren. And the officer did it because he probably don't like black people, black dudes. You know, he's jealous. He's an officer, maybe barely making $40,000 a year, probably, and he's out there, nothing really to do. And he actually believed this and took steps to make sure that Kyren was blamed. Now let's talk about Brianna for a second. Now Brianna took down all her social media, but the thing about it, no matter what you try to
Of course.
You nasty dumb bourbon bitch, you.
This is what we like. Tell me black women aren't the right hand of white supremacy. Tell me black women are not the right hand of white supremacy. Tell me they're not.
Uncle D, God bless him. I understand what he's trying to do. where he was coming from, but again, they'll play with our lives. Like, this is deeper than just back and forth talk.
Way deeper.
It keeps happening.
Over and over and over again. And Braxton, I don't really think that it was 40. I think he was just being funny with the $40,000 a year. I'm sure this dude makes closer to 100 plus, probably plus.
To take down. Your digital footprint is forever. Screenshots are going to be taken. That's how I was able to get the photos that I got of her. She tried to wipe her social media clean. But guess what, Heifer? Guess what? You cannot wipe anything from social media, especially when you've been on every platform. This Heifer was out here posting Instagram posts like she's an Instagram, like she's an Instagram model. And she's on TikTok making videos. Apparently, this Heifer collected insurance money from Kyren's insurance policy.
Whoa.
And she was able, apparently this Heifer collected insurance money from Kyren's insurance policy. Apparently this Heifer collected insurance money from Kyren's insurance policy.
Broken Blade. We die, they get paid. We go to jail, they get paid. We have a baby, they get paid.
If they don't kill the baby.
And she was able to live her. This Heifer collected insurance money from Kyren's insurance policy. And she was able to live her life like she did absolutely nothing wrong. And you wonder why we make videos about these heifers? Y'all wonder why it's so easy for us, especially me, to go in on the behaviors of Western women just like her? Because they have no empathy. They have no love for anybody but themselves, a complete narcissist. Tyler Warner, aka Officer Doofus, he's probably a narcissist too. The fact that he would go and take the steps that he took to frame Kyren Lacy is disgusting. This man should not be a police officer. He should be somewhere as a security guard at a strip mall. He should not be a police officer for no police department, under no circumstances. He's just as much of a loser as she is. And this is why the public has mistrust of the police departments, because you hire idiots who can't even police a parking lot, let alone a city, out here framing people for things they didn't do. And there's visual evidence of it. As a matter of fact, let's go.
And we already got over that. So Broken Blade, I say, okay, you know, maybe it's just one bad apple. Maybe it's just one bad apple. Maybe. You know? Maybe like it was just a thing that just kind of happened. And it was just one guy, and he was I don't know, he just had a bad day. Maybe, you know, maybe he was mixed up. Maybe, yeah. You know? But these are just a couple of cases that the Louisiana State Police have been accused of as of lately. And there's a particular theme here that I want you to pick up on because this is just a very short list. There's a bunch of them, but I felt like this is enough to prove the point. This is what they let us see, what's easily available and provable.
Yeah.
That way it's non-refutable. We don't have to deal with any of the other stuff, but we don't have to go super duper deep to figure out what's going on here. 2019, Louisiana State Police Unit stunned, punched, dragged, and ultimately ended the life of Ronald Green, a black motorist who failed to pull over for an unspecified traffic violation. Broken Blade, didn't I tell you we're the most of the time we're the most vulnerable when we're out on the road? That's when our civil liberties can be as more easily corrupted. Here we go. A civil rights investigation was conducted, and the state set up a panel to investigate several incidents of misconduct, including filing of false reports. In 2001, the ACLU called for a federal investigation into Louisiana State Police. The state police brass initially argued the troopers' use of force was justified, awful, but lawful, as ranking officials described it, and didn't open administrative investigation until 474 days after Green's death. Police body camera footage had surfaced, and there was evidence that Green likely did not die as a result of the crash following the high-speed chase, as Green's family had been told the FBI opened an investigation. But, you know, we haven't heard that case has been closed by any means. On June 9th, 2022, the U.S. Department of Justice Civil Rights Division Special Litigation Section opened a joint investigation with the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Eastern, Middle, and Western Districts of Louisiana against the state of Louisiana and the Louisiana State Police. The investigation is separate from any federal criminal investigation as a pattern or practice investigation, also referred to as pattern or practice of conduct, or pattern or practice of discrimination, under the authority of Violent Crime Control and Law Enforcement Act of 1994, pursuant 42 USC 14141, since migrated to 34 USC 12601. A Union Parish grand jury indicted 4 Louisiana State troopers and 1 Union Parish deputy with charges ranging from negligent homicide, malfeasance in office, and obstruction of justice. Trooper Chris Hollingsworth died in a car crash in September 2020, according to Ouachita Parish Coroner's Office. Governor Jeff Landry has promised sweeping reforms. He tapped Major Robert Hodges, 28 LSP veteran, as a new LSP superintendent per recommendations of his Criminal Justice Advisory Council. Liz Merzel, newly appointed as Attorney General, intends to hire former federal prosecutor Ed O'Callahan to perform an internal study of Louisiana State Police, a goal to assist in restoring rule of law to the city and provide victims the justice they deserve. Broken Blade, I hear a whole bunch of crimes and not a lot of actual people going to jail.
Yeah.
Case after case, case after case, case after case, planning evidence, misconduct on top of misconduct, on top of misconduct, on top of misconduct. Now, I don't normally have much to say about Ryan Clark. Typically, I think he panders to women, and he's one of those pull yourself up by your bootstraps kind of dudes. But he had something to say here that, I mean, no matter who you are, at some point, I mean, you got to be able to, as a Black person in America, this has got to touch you in some way, shape, or form. Let's let him rock.
Died under the weight of handling the guilt. It was already sad and tragic when I thought he died under the weight of handling the guilt that he unknowingly played a part in someone losing their life. It's even more tragic that I know he died as an innocent man who knew he was innocent, but was dealing with the consequences of someone guilty of what he had been accused of. And let's be clear, Kyren Lacy is innocent, but on December 17th, 2 people lost their lives. Obviously, Herman Hall, and condolences and prayers to his family, because this man fought in 2 Vietnam wars, and the very thing he fought for, right, which was the rights and the privileges and the due diligence of the courts as it pertains to American citizens, didn't even happen in his death. They didn't even honor him that way. It was true lies. It was true railroading. It was true framing. It was Tyler Werner, the state police, who was coaching witnesses into telling them or into saying that it was Kyren's car involved in the crash. All he saw was a young Black man, right? He didn't see Kenny, and he didn't see Candace's son. He didn't see a brother. He didn't see a teammate. He didn't see a boyfriend. He didn't see somebody who truly was a part of the community. So they stole his joy. They stole his career. And eventually they took his life. And so now it's about what happens to give his family justice. Because this doesn't give them peace, right? This is exactly the evil and the hate we talk about. It isn't just about rhetoric. It isn't just about words. It isn't just about policy. It isn't just about agenda. This is the true racism and the true hate that takes away lives. And we got to see it right in front of us. And we're having this conversation because Kyren Lacy was a star football player from LSU. How many other young kids, young Black people has this happened to that we will never hear their story of? And
that's the part I wanted to get to.
Pete, young kids, we're having this conversation because Kyren Lacy was a star football player from LSU. How many other young kids, young Black people has this happened to that we will never hear their story of? And I repeat, Kyren Lacy is innocent. Tyler Werner is a criminal.
And he's walking further.
Most likely, he's probably ain't even suspended. Probably suspended with pay. We know what time it is. We know the story.
Absolutely.
So Broken Blade, you know, we had a conversation yesterday, and was it yesterday? 2 days ago? Yesterday. And I was hot.
Yeah.
I was hot.
Right from your soul.
I was smoking. I was hot. I was mad. I was mad. And the part that I don't think people really understand when it comes to things in situations like these is that if you've ever really had someone point a weapon at you, right? And the reason why I'm saying this is because if you understand anything about these things, there is, if you understand how they work and you understand that a simple twitch means that
it's over. A
slab of metal gets ejected out of the front of that thing, and it's going to smash into whatever the hell happens to be in front of it. Good, bad, or indifferent, on purpose or on accident, right? You saw remember the Vietnam vet that was helping kids shoot or whatever, and some girl had a fully automatic weapon and lost control of it and ended up killing the instructor. Did you hear about that story? Because they use it as one of those gun control things, because there was a little kid that had a AK-47, but it was at a gun range, and the guy at the gun range was like a vet that was helping other vets to like deal with their PTSD and like so on and so forth. And he had groups, and he was a very active member in the pew pew community. And there was
narrative though,
of course, and he was helping a little girl, whatever, for some reason they put an AK in her hand, and she pulled the trigger and lost control of it. And what you're supposed to do is you're only supposed to put one round in at a time for new people, just because if they drop it or it comes out of their hand, they can't have follow-up shots that go other places. So you give them one.
Little girl, like it started with like a 22.
No, bro, it was a big old. It was something she had no business. Had no business.
Give a 10-year-old M60 while you're at it. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. But my point is that as someone that understands weapons, you understand how serious it is when someone's pointing one of those things directly at you, and you're looking down the barrel of that, and you understand that like any quick twitch could register to that other person to pull the trigger. So you inherently, you understand that how serious the situation is. Like, and it's a traumatic experience, right? Now, I put that in the same bucket with just getting pulled over by cops, because you're only that far away from that happening anyway. And the messed up part about it is that white folks try to act like it's an irrational fear, but we've got example after example after example after example of being taken out just that way. So maybe it's not a rational fear for you, but it's a very rational fear for me. So under the guise of having these kind of situations and interactions, my response is fight. My response is like, it fight or flight. Some people run.
Yeah. It's like, what happens to when you corner a wounded and frightened dog?
Go fight his way out. bite his way out.
We are wounded, we are frightened, and this shit's looking a whole hell of a lot like a corner.
Look, man, I'm not frightened. I'm not frightened. It's scared ain't it, bro.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I'm not scared. Fuck these guys. Excuse my language, but like, I'm not scared. This is a declaration on us, and declaration of, I'm not going to say it so as not to get kicked off of YouTube. I'm going to try to keep the cuss words out, Rogan Blade. Because I would like to not have to edit, and I want to be able to use this piece of content for this evening. I'm going to try to crash out without the bad language, which is going to sound crazy, but I'm going to try to do it. I'm going to attempt. This is psychological warfare that's being waged on us. And I'm not afraid for my well-being. I'm afraid to what I'm about to do to you. I'm afraid that everyone's going to have to deal with the repercussions of what this really means. This type of behavior is a declaration of war. And the thing of it is that because we've allowed the media to get so far away from us and our image is so bad that someone can just make some shit up, excuse my language, make some stuff up, say I did something when I was a football field away, and everyone just assumes that that's the truth. That's how bad it is. And like, nobody is talking about this the right way. And everyone is still kind of sitting here. I saw this Emmanuel Acho and all these people, and nobody is actually saying what this really is. We've got a police officer coercing a statement. We've got him falsifying evidence. We've got DAs and judges participating. A judge had to sign an arrest warrant. So they showed the judge the same thing that we saw, and that judge still thought that it was appropriate to sign off on a warrant for his arrest based on what the information was given. What sense does that make?
None.
So I want you to hear this, because this is why I wanted to bring this up, because just shows how dangerous it is when the narrative gets spun the wrong way.
Sports. Kyren Lacy bonded out from jail after turning himself in following that crash that claimed the life of a 78-year-old man. Lacy allegedly was driving his vehicle and, according to state police, recklessly passed the vehicle, causing two other vehicles to run off the road and crash. As questions remain over why it took nearly a month for an arrest, KLB Sports Director Harrison Babneck spoke with the attorney representing the victim of the family.
No one is above the law. I don't care if you're a football player or anyone. No one is above the law.
Unless you have a badge or enough money.
Hey, real quick, let me get this real quick. Shout out to Red Sigma. Cat Williams set off the season of revealing. He did, man. But I mean, this is beyond Cat Williams, bro. This is a failure of all of our elected officials. Any person that a black person voted for in the last, say, 30, 40, or 50 years is a failure, a piece of shit, and they need to lose their job. Every single one of them. Because they're allowing this stuff to happen. And, once again, I think that I'm understanding more and more now that Democrats, they don't mind. Like they want this kind of shit to happen. But shout out to Red Sigma. Thank you so much. They want this mess to happen. Let's let this rock. I mean,
For LSU football wide receiver Kyren Lacy turned himself into state police on Sunday and later released on bond in charges connected to a deadly hit and run on December 17th in Lafourche Parish.
and see, here's the thing. A hit and run, right? Doesn't a hit and run require someone to actually hit somebody? Like the people that got in the accident are right there. He didn't hit anybody. He never hit anybody.
That killed 78-year-old man Herman Hall, a former Marine.
I'm not sure what took so long, but we were prepared for that. We knew he was going to turn himself in.
Wonder what took so long. Maybe because they had to get their evidence ready so that they could frame him.
Charges that were put on him were right in line with what we expected them to be.
Right in line with what they expected them to be. This is the attorney on the other side, the civil attorney, that they plan to sue him civilly.
Attorney Digger Earls plans on
And by the way, look how they got the grandpa pictures, and they humanize him, but who actually ran into him though? Notice, Broken Blade, who haven't we seen? It wasn't until us found a black creator that's in the space that saw this for what it is. Shout out to Jada Black, that brought it to everyone's attention. Otherwise, Broken Blade, not a single image of this woman was on any of the stuff that I found outside of what he did.
Representing Hall's family in a civil lawsuit, and although he didn't personally know Hall,
Bro, does this right? Fits the narrative, right?
he knew what he stood for.
By all accounts, he was a wonderful man. You know, he was a retired Marine. He served his country, retired from the Marine Corps.
Ended by the big bad black man.
Retired from the Sheriff's Department. But he literally spent his lifetime fighting for justice for all of us. So I'm here to fight for justice for Mr. Herman.
Lacy
Keep that same energy, bro.
gained fame this past fall around the country, leading LSU football in touchdowns and recording 866 receiving yards.
Why do you think it took so long for them to release the high notoriety person? Is that usual for a case like this?
That's an interesting question. Why do you think it took so long for them to arrest a high notoriety person? Like it's his fault once again.
Yeah.
It's very unusual. I don't know what's going on with state police, why they considered this so high profile.
Maybe because they didn't have any actual evidence.
I guess because of his football fame or his fact that he was entering the draft. I'm not sure. I can tell you that the Hall family doesn't care if he was high profile, low profile, or no profile. They deserve the right to know who he was and what he was going to be charged with. They deserve justice for their father.
2 days after the crash, Lacy announced he was entering the 2025 NFL Draft.
It does tell us a lot about who Kyren Lacy is.
Oh, it tells us a lot about who he is, Broken Blade. It tells us a lot about who he is.
They deserve the right to know who he was and what he was going to be charged with, and they deserve justice for their father.
2 days after the crash, Lacy announced he was entering the 2025 NFL Draft.
It does tell us a lot about who Kyren Lacy is. He's involved in this incident where a gentleman unfortunately lost his life, severely injuring Mr. Hall's wife, and he leaves there and goes and writes a heartfelt message to football fans telling them that he's entering the draft. So while it doesn't change our strategy or our plan or the way we attack this case, it does tell us a lot about who Kyren Lacy is as a person.
Huh. It's about who he is as a person.
Also says a lot of who a lot of the Louisiana State Police are as people.
I mean, that would be the logical way to look at it, but I don't think that that's the way it's going to go.
How dare he talking about these to be in the NFL draft after dropping past an accident he had nothing to do with.
Yeah. Yeah. And Dre, I know, man. Like I said, I think that these kids are. I don't think that they're capable of. I don't think they're not equipped. And what I mean is, okay, like when we came up, I think we were on the tail end of being like how treacherous some of these non-melanated people can really be, right? We've witnessed it in school. We felt that racism, not that full-blown like burning crosses in your yard racism, but the subtle racism. We felt it. We know what it is or whatever, right? We act accordingly. We've still been, you and I'm sure we've been duped a couple of times, maybe once or twice. We're like, damn, I thought this person was cool. And then they hit you with the okie doke. Next thing you know, they're calling you an N-word. And you're like, damn, bro, you too? Thought you were cool. But these kids are growing up hearing that there's no such thing as racism, no such thing as racism, no such thing as racism. And then they're like, okay, I know such thing as racism. You have a victim mentality. And then they're looking around like, well, then I must be a bad person, right? Because there's no racism. And, like the system's supposed to work, right?
There
like
must be something wrong with me.
Yeah, the police department's supposed to tell the truth, right? Like they wouldn't lie, right? Like the idea that it got all the way to where they arrested him, meaning like they put him in cuffs, booked him, like the whole thing. He's like, yo, I was a block away from the accident, and they can still get it all the way to the point to where they can pull me out of my house and lock me up out on $150,000 bail. And I had nothing to do with it. I'm sure he's like this whole, like it must be like the Twilight Zone for him. Now, I'm not making any excuses for him. I'm just simply stating the facts. I would imagine that kids these days, they've heard this narrative that there's no such thing as racism. And even though it's like people have bastardized what racism really is, right? And now it's almost like now these people, you know what? Hold on a second. Because, Jason Whitlock touched on another situation that illuminates what I'm talking about. Did you hear about Mark Sanchez, the ex Giants Jets quarterback? Mark Sanchez?
No.
He was like downtown. I forget where exactly. It'll say in a second here. He got stabbed and found himself in a hospital. And a whole bunch of people jumped out off a ledge, and they made assumptions about about how he got stabbed. And a whole bunch of people jumped off the ledge because, they're very comfortable in their white supremacy, and they're perfectly comfortable pushing really nasty narratives. And so they made some responses to this whole thing. And you guys should and just I want you to just think about like how this sounds, right? Like we're putting this in context. We're putting this situation and we're butting it up against this other situation, right? Someone that didn't do something that was accused of doing something, and the system full blown tried to railroad this dude, and what the media did and said. And then we're going to get another situation where the media takes a particular stance, and then the facts come out and you find out that wasn't what actually happened. Let's let this rock.
Story of the weekend. I almost forgot about this. No. Mark Sanchez. Mark Sanchez. Oh. Holy cow. What happened here? So I think is this Adam? Yeah, this is Adam Schefter's original tweet. Former NFL quarterback and current Fox Sports broadcaster Mark Sanchez has been hospitalized after being stabbed during a robbery in Indianapolis early Saturday morning.
Adam Schefter. Like, so this is like ESPN. Is it ESPN or Fox's? Like what? I think like ESPN's one of their like main guys. Main guys, ESPN, right? He got stabbed during a robbery. That's the narrative, right? We're going to assume, because it's a robbery, what that person may or may not look like.
Yeah.
Right? People are going to make an assumption.
So that's screw up number one from Adam Schefter. The governor of Indiana, Mike Braun, he jumped in. I've been clear. City leaders must do their jobs and hold criminals accountable. When Indianapolis headlines national news for a lack of public safety, it hurts our city and our state. Hoosiers deserve better. Praying for a full recovery for Mark Sanchez.
The governor steps out. Do their jobs. Hold criminals accountable. Criminals, when they say criminals, who do you think he's thinking about?
You know damn well the dog whistles. Yeah.
Broken Blade is the governor dog whistling, you think?
Like a motherfucker.
We're dog whistling. Okay, we're dog whistling. All right. You know what? That makes a lot of sense. That was the feeling I was getting too. I wasn't sure. I didn't want to jump off a ledge and assume that, you know, the governor is a white supremacist or whatever, or he was just saying white supremacist things. But let's go.
The lieutenant governor, Michael Beckwith.
Oh, the lieutenant governor too. Huh. Okay.
He chimed in. Unacceptable. This is happening in our capital city, right here in Indiana. Indianapolis is sliding into lawlessness because local leaders refuse to prosecute criminals and protect citizens.
Dog whistle? Another dog whistle. Okay. Is this? I might check in periodically, you know, because this is a long tweet and I'm not sure. I just want to make sure that I'm hearing the dog whistles properly. So I'm gonna run that by you. But let's
law enforcement officers want to do their jobs, but they're being handcuffed by soft on crime politicians who value ideology over safety.
That feels like another subtle insinuation.
Punk ass liberals won't let us murk these hard R's with impunity.
Okay. All right. My ears are tuned. All right. Cool.
It's time for the state of Indiana to step in. We must restore law and order in our capital.
Oh, law and order.
Law and order.
There it is. Law and order. Okay. All right, we know what that is. So they're talking about getting out the horses and the cracks and the whips and the okay. All right. So it's time to get them in words, right? To get this lynching time. Okay, let's go.
The General Assembly should act this session to give the governor and attorney general clear authority to enforce the law and prosecute offenders when local officials won't. Indiana deserves safe streets and leadership with the courage to deliver it.
This is the
so dog whistle. After dog whistle, after dog whistle, after dog whistle. Now, Broken Blade, at this point, do you know the story or what actually happened to Matt Sanchez?
No, sir.
No one is actually giving you the story yet, huh? Okay, all right. So let's bring it back. Let's bring it back.
Tell me something like, oh, he was attacked by a white hooker. I'm gonna lose him.
You're not far off. You're not that far off. You're not that far off. You're not that far off. It's not that far.
No.
High profile politician. Dan Dockich, someone that I like and support.
Dan Dockich. This is a good one, Broken Blade. This is a good one. This is a real good one. Here we go.
He works at Outkick, and I like Dan Dockich, former Indiana basketball star. Shut down Michael Jordan, 40 years ago. Well, anyway, Michael Jordan didn't play well. With Dan Dockich was on the court when that happened. Anyway, he hosts a show on Outkick, and he tweeted out, Sanchez or anyone being stabbed downtown in Indy should not be a surprise. We have a ton of fatherless and armed African-American kids descending.
Woo! He said to hell with the dog whistle. I'm just going to say that.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say it. To hell with a dog whistle. I'm just gonna flat out say it, bro. These racists are way too comfortable. Let's let them go. Let's let them have it. Let's go. Damn.
Should not be a surprise. We have a ton of fatherless and armed African-American kids descending on downtown Indy every weekend. If that offends you, F off, as the chief of police, Bailey, and Reverend Harrison have told you this.
If it offends you, F off. Chief of Police Bailey and Rev Harrison have told you this. Did you see the note that's right underneath it? Mark Sanchez is the alleged assailant, according to the Indianapolis police, not the victim. He subsequently had been charged with battery and public intoxication.
Yet again, when we have nothing to do with it, they got to find a way to connect us to it.
Well, the man that stabbed him is black, but the man that stabbed him was a DoorDash driver that parked in an alley so that he could deliver some food. Mark picked a fight with the guy, started roughing him up. The guy stabbed him to protect himself. He attacked the guy first. Drunk. Guy was just trying to deliver food. And he was like 68 years old. This is like an old man. Got one of them pokers on you. You got to know, man. Them old school, my uncles and old school. I carry a knife just like my shoot. Hey, man, my pops was mean with the blade. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Absolutely. I keep it handy. I keep it handy.
Quote Joey Diaz talk about like his father figure, tremendous with a straight razor. Tremendous.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, no, you get somebody get close to you, gets a little close to you, might have to bip bop boop. You know, poke them up real quick before they know what the hell is going on. No, I keep mine on me at least bare minimum. Yeah. Yeah, my hand goes in my pocket. It may or may not come out with something all the time. This is within a hands. It is right there on the hip, stays there.
Yes,
So yeah. So you see how crazy this is? So these people not getting the whole story, jump off the ledge, make these dog whistles, and they give all this like racist input, and turns out that he was the perpetrator. Unbelievable.
That's a lot. That's a lot. And as it turns
here's
out,
the cold part about this, bro. This asshole still couldn't even stand up for his own people. And just be and to point out how wicked this statement is.
Facts, Braxton. Yes, sir.
It is despicable. Yeah, a few tools at your side at all time. Always. Oh, we're gonna get there. I'm gonna freak out here in just a second. I just wanted to lay all this out real quick. But I'm gonna let him.
Told you this. That's a lot. That's a lot. And as it turns out, Mark Sanchez beat up a 70-year-old man or 69-year-old man and got stabbed and got arrested. Mark Sanchez did while sitting in the hospital recovering from being stabbed because the guy stabbed him in defense of himself. Mark Sanchez. I mean, I took some heat, Steve, because I tweeted out a prayer asking for.
Get your lips off of white daddy's.
Mark Sanchez is healing, and people, have criticized me.
Trash.
For how dare you ask for Mark Sanchez to heal when he was the perpetrator? Said I jumped the gun, but man, I didn't jump the gun like these guys, and I don't regret my tweet at all. the governor and lieutenant governor have both deleted their tweets.
Good
Dan
idea.
Dockett has doubled, tripled, and quadrupled down on his.
Well,
despite
he knows what goes on there. I mean, Jason, I have a question.
He knows what goes on there. Enlighten me.
Did you ever think Mark Sanchez would outdo the butt fumble? He just did. He just butt fumbled a great job on Fox. Think about it. I mean, look, I'm not so sure who had a worse weekend as a quarterback in Indianapolis, Geno Smith or Mark Sanchez, but at least Geno didn't get arrested. Now I'm looking at pictures of the victim, that poor guy, Mark Sanchez turning the Wolverine. The thing about that story I thought was strange. We heard 18 different versions. I don't know what's true. And then you have the police report.
Oh, Broken Blade. How reliable is the police report? Guess it depends on who they're reporting on.
Yeah.
And one of the stories said,
the leads are broke.
They said he was doing wind sprints. They said he was doing wind sprints in the alleyway. So it probably was not just alcohol.
Yeah,
It was probably a bunch of other stuff too.
delivering food, and I told him you couldn't park there. And I think that sounds strange because, Jason, as someone, I think you and I both had food delivered. You don't care where these guys park. They're leaving in 30 seconds anyway. They can block me for all I care. Just get the hell out after I give you a great tip because I respect your work. And seriously, as soon as you leave, I'm good. So that right there, I said, wait a minute. And then I thought, was there a woman involved? These things happen. But I was like, you're in Indianapolis. You're on job assignment. So I guarantee you there's an issue in Indianapolis. Our good friend Ock Nation has done videos about the crime in Indianapolis. I know.
And this guy is still flipping it around on the crime in Indianapolis. Can you believe this asshole? Holy smack.
I guarantee you there's an issue in Indianapolis.
I guarantee you there's an issue in Indiana. I don't care what happened. There's still blacks. The blacks still. I don't care what happened, but the blacks. Just blame it on the blacks. Like, I mean, no matter what. I mean, it's the blacks. Because, blacks. Because blackity black. Like, blacks. Like,
Our good friend Ock Nation has done videos about the crime.
Ock Nation, right? So he's referring to another black person that's got not so nice things to say about black people. You see how that works?
Yeah.
See that if when you're a black person and you say stupid stuff about black people, white people take your words and they use them against your own people.
In Indianapolis, I never knew. I thought it was a bunch of white kids shooting basketball at night. I didn't know all this other stuff, but there is an issue. But I do believe people from now on, when a crime happens, at least wait for the police report. You don't always have to be first. Just always be correct.
After everything that we kind of went over there, Broken Blade, is there anything that is there anything that anything come to mind? Anything you want to say? What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? What's the most pertinent? What's the most pressing thing? Like, what's the thing that's like, what part of all of this do you find to be the most egregious?
The gaslighting. I'll try to be fast about this, but I need to get this out here. You remember our past conversations. You know where I'm going with this. A lot of brothers, especially brothers in this space, have been run off from the church from the message of pacifism, no matter what. Turn the other cheek, turn the other cheek, turn the other cheek. I myself, I am a Christian now, but it's been a long struggle, like decades. I've been in the church now for a while. And this was one of the reasons why I fell out like the last time. the situation with George Floyd, Breonna Taylor. Like, where's the line?
Mm-hmm.
I've been meditating, praying on this for years. You are reminded of a verse, Matthew 5:17. Do not think that I have come to abolish the law or the prophets. I have not come to abolish them, but fulfill them. The law, of course, references the Ten Commandments. Old Testament. The Old Testament is just as valid, just as important as the New Testament. The Old Testament speaks of war quite a bit. War has its place. A lot of people, whether they mean well or not, get turned the other cheek twisted. That's an issue of ego. Basically, don't get caught up in the nigger moment. But we have the right to defend ourselves. Deuteronomy chapter 25, 17 through 19 speaks of just a moment. It speaks of the Amalekites attacking the Israelites at a vulnerable position where they were first leaving Egypt. Deuteronomy 17 through 19, God, I believe he's speaking to Caleb here. Remember what the Amalekites did to you as you were coming from Egypt. They had no fear of God, and so they attacked you from the rear when you were tired and exhausted, and killed all who were straggling behind. So then when the Lord your God has given you the land and has made you safe from all your enemies who live around you, be sure to kill all the Amalekites so that no one will remember them any longer. Do not forget.
I'm so glad you said that. That's do you mind? Do you mind reading that again, please?
Yes, sir.
I want to, let's put a pin in that. Like, let's put a pin in that, because that lends to exactly where I want to go with this. But go ahead. Sorry.
Remember what the Amalekites did to you as you were coming from Egypt. They had no fear of God, and so they attacked you from the rear when you were tired and exhausted. They killed all who were straggling behind. So then when the Lord your God has given you the land and made you safe from all your enemies who live around you, be sure to kill all the Amalekites so that no one will remember them any longer. Do not forget. And thinking on this, I had a realization. God has been quiet because we've been fearful. Numbers 13:31. Well, Numbers 13 in general, Moses sends one scout from every tribe to scout the land that God promised to the Israelites. The only two that stood on faith were Joshua and Caleb. The further land, lots of vegetation. Let's grab our blades and take what's ours. The other team were shaken by the people they saw living there, the giants. 7-8 feet tall. Numbers 13:31. They say we can't go up against them. They're stronger than us. They have drones and tanks. They're stronger than us. Strongest military in the world. They're stronger than us. But we see how they move. The rampant murder, the rape of the women and children the world over. with all their tech and military might, God is not on their side. In the book of Judges, one of the judges, a man named Gideon, went up against an army of 15,000 with only 300. And one of the reasons why they were brought down was confusion among the Midianites who we were fighting against. I believe it was Jerome in the chat that just brought up police getting ambushed by white people. Charlie Kirk on the hands of a white man. Further than that, in regards to Keisha, Exodus 32, 19, 20. My apologies.
No, take your time.
Exodus 32. I'll try not to go too long with this. But basically, Moses was at the top of Mount Sinai, talking to God. He was getting the commandments written on stone. The Israelites, they rebelled. They pulled their jewelry together. They formed the golden calf, started worshiping that. Started carrying on in all sorts of ways. Wanton sex and violence, the whole nine. Moses comes down and sees this. He gets rightfully angry. He addressed the people. Right here, 26. So he stood at the entrance of the camp and said, "Whoever is for the Lord, come with me." And all the Levites rallied with him. Then he said to them, "This is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says. Each man strap a sword to his side. Go back and forth through the camp from one end to the other, killing each of his brother, friend, and neighbor. If they're out of line, if they're off code, even by God's word, if they refuse to repent, the blade is an option." The final verse I want to bring up.
Can I if I could just jump in here real quick?
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay. So, right. So this is from the words of the good book.
Mm-hmm.
This is the word from the good book. That not only do we end the lineage of the people that attacked us, particularly those scoundrels that attacked us from behind and tried to eradicate us. Not only are we supposed to take out our enemies, all of them, women, children, and kids, right? From the good book. That's what God said, right? He said, these people came up on you and did you in. Once you get settled, you go back there and you end their lineage. Yeah? Isn't that what he said? They said? Okay. And then people in the camp that couldn't follow directions, that weren't off code, you go through the camp and we handle that. They need to go too. This is the from the good book, right? Like this is the God that everyone claims to say that they are following. This is his instructions, correct? So it's not beyond the pale for us to respond in this way. Am I right? That's his direction. No. Do you think he was being hypothetical? You think he was being, or you think he meant that in a literal sense? Like, no, you go over there with your blade and you handle business. Okay. Now let me add a wrinkle to this, Broken Blade. Imagine the people on the other side think that they're you. Imagine the people on the other side think that the God that we are just speaking of, we're speaking to them, and they think that they're on the good side and you're on the bad side. What if those people think that their God told them that very same verse? And it's not you that's on the good side, it's you that's on the bad side. Do you think that they're going to pull any punches when it comes to what they got to do to you?
Absolutely not, especially historically speaking. They clearly are not.
Do you think that a bunch of black folks don't think fat meat is greasy when they start talking about what these YT people are willing to do to you? I contend that we are not realizing that these people believe that there is a blood libel against you, black man, and that these people have absolutely no problem ending your lineage. In fact, they want to end your lineage. You are behind enemy lines, gentlemen. And these people are absolutely willing to end you. Absolutely. And they legislate it. And they put courts in place to make sure that they can do it and get away with it. What have we been talking about for the last hour and a half? Sorry, go ahead. I'll finish in a second.
Not a problem, bro. Not a problem. I'll conclude with this. One last scripture, Numbers 14:18. I read this before a couple of days ago. The Lord is slow to anger and abundant in loving kindness, forgiving iniquity and transgression. But he will by no means clear the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children to the third and fourth generation. I believe it was Rex Sigma that brought it up. We let this new generation down.
Mm.
We pushed this post-racism narrative, and that poor kid went out into the world with no armor.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have all the evidence we need. These people are not playing games.
No.
This is the G word. Attempted. The things we cannot speak of, though it's true. We have a simple question we have to answer. A simple but very important one. How long do we intend to pass our sins on to the next generation? I'll land my plane there.
That's what I'm talking about. I don't know, man. Miseducation. It's our. I mean, it's like I said, man. It wasn't until look, man. Half of this stuff, my perception was warped. You know, I was only shown X, Y, and Z. Like, if you really think about it, like really think about how you get information. Like, if your job, right? If you go to your job, like you're trying to be good at your job, so you're trying to learn ways, whatever, right? Like, you're not learning anything else. You're not looking outside your job. You're just in this bucket, right? You get home, you want to decompress. You put on, you know, maybe you're on TikTok or whatever for however long, maybe scrolling through Instagram, right? You got limited amount. Unless you're a curious person, you're not going to learn what the law is for real when it comes to a traffic stop or what they can and can't do, right? The guy's got a badge and a gun. You just assume that what they're saying or what they're doing is proper. You would assume. Yeah. In fact, I don't think I have it. Do I have it here? Look, I was trying not to go long on this, but because this is important, right? Because we have certain expectations. There is our contract with, you know, with the police, our social contract is not being fulfilled on their end. And even we have certain expectations of what should and shouldn't happen, what could and couldn't happen. There's no reason why we should be in this place where we should have to double check, recheck, quadruple check the work and the reports of these police officers. Like, think about this for a second. And what's his face said it. How many of these have happened that we never hear about? We're already the most we already are the most falsely accused by a long shot. Most hate crimes committed against. Most acquitted. Like, proof that these people are not treating us properly. Let's see what this says. The police pledge is a commitment by the police department's officers and citizens to uphold specific principles and standards ranging from ethical conduct and constitutional rights to community safety and support for the profession. Examples include International Association of Chiefs of Police (IACP) Oath of Honor, which emphasizes dignity, respect, and integrity, and various community-focused pledges like the 30 by 30 Initiatives Committee to increasing female representation. That's not what I'm looking for. Public-facing pledges such as American Law Enforcement Pledge, encouraging citizens to support law enforcement and impose movement to defund police. But I want to talk more about this ranging from ethical conduct and constitutional rights to community safety and support for the profession. Support for the profession. Broken Blade, isn't there an expectation that they do right by us, that they treat us right?
Yes.
We have an expectation, and they're not fulfilling that expectation. You know what I'm saying? And the thing of it is that there's no expectation for me to be a good person. As long as I'm not breaking the law, I can be an asshole, right? I don't have an expectation or whatever. I got a job where I do a thing, I make some money, I do my thing. I could be an asshole all day long. You, kind sir, took an oath to tell the truth, to protect and serve the community, citizens of this here country. You did. You took the oath. Planting evidence, falsifying documents, hiding evidence, railroading young people.
Adding evidence.
Adding evidence. What are we talking about? And going back to this Congressional Black Caucus, bro, they have said virtually nothing. And here's the thing about this. I'm gonna come back to this because I just didn't get a chance to spend enough time. I gotta go. But all these kids hanging from trees, all this stuff going on, they haven't said a word about it. It's the only thing they're talking about are these illegals. Think about that for a second. All these people have been talking about is the illegals. That's it. They're letting Billy Bob hang us from trees, planting evidence, railroading somebody. Bro, if they can put a crime on you that happened a block away from you, think about how crazy that is. A whole block away. Bro, you don't even have to be on the same block for them to frame you. And everybody ran with it. He was a block away, bro. A football field. A football field away from a crime, and he still had a warrant on it for his arrest. I'm gonna say it like this. And I was talking to Broken Blade about it, and I'm not going to try to get I'm not going to get into trouble with Broken Blade. Here's what I'll say. And I've said something similar before. I feel attacked. My response when someone takes one step forward, I take 2 steps forward. I'm going to hit you before you hit me. That's just how I operate. And I feel attacked. I'm annoyed that people that look like me don't have this. They ain't saying the right stuff. Their energy ain't right. The energy is not right. Tables need to be flipped. What did Jesus do? Didn't Jesus do that? He flipped the table to prove a point. to communicate to everybody that this is a very serious situation. Like, y'all are in a very serious situation. I am not a happy camper. Heads is about to be rolling. That's the kind of energy we need to be on. Guys, we're being attacked actively. I knew it was going to happen. I knew it. I was like, okay, watch. Black people are going to be hands off and let all the white folks get all the Latinos and all them and get them up out of here. And once they start that momentum and they get comfortable and they got that blood in their mouth, they could taste it. Now they can't help it. Now the natural target, the target that they always, now they're looking for reasons, any reason they can to come after us. Any reason. And they're, and bro, hanging in from trees, really? We're going to talk about it tomorrow because I can't get it. I want to thoroughly talk about that.
He fought around the ground. He had a piece on him, but that's how he decided to go out.
Nah, man, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. And the Congressional Black Caucus and all of these people, they need to do better. This is trash that they've not done anything. I looked all up and down all these people, and they have literally said nothing but stuff about these illegal immigrants, nothing about what we got going on, nothing about any of these other crimes against Black people. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. But what I'll say is this. Get yourself ready, guys. Get yourself ready. I get a feeling this is not going to be, this is going to take a very serious reaction. And I don't know what that means. That means maybe, I don't know, maybe every police department in the country needs to get hit with a lawsuit at the exact same time on the exact same day. And maybe we need to bankrupt this entire country. Maybe something like that needs to happen. You know? Maybe that sword doesn't look like, you know, what we're used to swords looking like. Maybe it looks like something like this. You know? Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I'm spitballing.
Yeah.
But the idea that we're going to just sit around and I'm supposed to believe that a young man, first year of college, crawled up into a tree and put a rope around his neck and jumped out on his own, right? Because this other kid, what did he do when he ended his life? He drove like a maniac, crashed his car. That didn't get him, so a bullet did. That's how he took himself out. So, look, man, we're going to talk more about it tomorrow, but we can't allow this kind of stuff to continue to happen. We just can't. We have to start putting pressure on our elected officials because the way things are going now, we're one step away from crash out time. We're one step away from crash out time. So anyway, thank all you guys for coming through, hanging out. Dre, Jerome, Solo Dolo, the International Quiet Storm, salute to you, bro. Good to see you up in here for a split second. Salute to you, man. Black Samurai, salute to you. Salute to you. Braxton, I think I said Braxton, but salute again. Thank you guys so much for coming through and hanging out. Me and Broken Blade, we'll be back tomorrow. We got a lot of other stuff we got to talk about because this is out of line. This is out of pocket. Also, probably, we'll talk about the boxing class a little bit later on. I want to thank all of you guys. Me and Broken Blade, we truly appreciate you. We're out. Peace.